And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Did you miss my face? Yeah, I didn't think so. But maybe one of you out there did miss me. But yeah, I know I haven't been making videos lately. I'll tell you what, RSV, if you've ever had RSV, man, it wiped its way through my whole family. Everybody got sick. I was the last one to get sick, but my God, it beat me up pretty good. But enough with the excuses. I'll tell you what, though, I have a problem. And I'm going to be the first one to admit it. That problem is I got to talk about Pokemon. And I haven't been talking about Pokemon. I have so many topics going on up here. There's an old saying. It's okay when you have voices in your head. It's just not okay when those voices start to argue with each other. And I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of voices in my head right now, and they're all having their own conversations. And they're all about Pokemon. And I just need to get a couple topics off my head right now. But I'm backed up with topics for like the next couple days. My plan is today to go live, tomorrow to go live, Friday to go live, Saturday to go live. And I'm sorry if I'm going to be throwing a lot of Pokemon content at you in the next couple days. But now that I feel a little bit better, oh my God, I got to get some of this stuff out. I'm just going to hit you with some of the topics that I'm not going to cover fully, but that will be covered in later videos. So if you didn't know, PokemonCenter.com, they did all their Pikachu with the gray felt hat. They had their second release. You could go on. If you haven't noticed, anybody who picked up 8 of the Fusion Strike packs didn't get their promos. Well, guess who got 2 shipments of Fusion Strike packs, 8 packs per order, with 0 Pikachu with gray felt hat promos, and this guy. My other 3 orders, because I got 5 orders in total, the other 3 still have the promo somehow. Listen, I talked to Pokemon support. I don't want to flip out just yet. That is going to be a later video, but I will tell you right now. I have, look at, where are they? Well, I don't want to pull out the box because it's got like my address on and stuff, but I got a nice box of 16 Fusion Strike packs in total because it was 8 and 8, and I'm not happy about that I didn't get my 2 freaking promos with that. So I reached out to Pokemon support. I've already seen people starting to get emails, and I don't know why. I'm gonna dive into this on a later video, but for some reason, anybody who bought Fusion Strike packs seemed to get screwed over. Then I've also seen some people that got responses from Pokemon Center that said, "Hey, sorry, while the promo was still available, it was actually sold out, and the website shouldn't have been showing it." But I'm gonna find out if that's true or not, because some of my later orders that the promos, like as recently as this today, where I got the tracking information, it shows 3-pack blisters plus the promo. Those 3-pack blisters were purchased after the Fusion Strike pack. So if Pokemon does try to give me that BS excuse where, oh, sorry, when you purchase these 8 Fusion Strike packs, the promo was actually already sold out, I will be able to say, actually, that is not true, because later, for a later order, I did order something and got the promo. So I'll find out if that is a true statement or false. I don't want to flip out just yet, but it's coming. Another thing I got to talk about. Mr. James from Z&J Emporium, if you're out there, my friend, you got my number. I need you to give me a quick phone call. 10-minute phone call tomorrow. Listen, my phone number is very simple. 867-5309. Jenny's probably going to pick up. Just tell Jenny you want to talk to PK. Jenny will get PK on the phone, 867-5309. Please, James, you just got to call me. 10-minute phone conversation. That's all we need. That's the next topic. I'll probably talk about that again later in the video. I got so many topics. I'm sorry. Everybody out there who's struggling right now, like, oh God, PK's on a rant today. I'm on a rant. I'm telling you, there's a lot of voices going on in this head right now. They're all arguing with each other. Next topic I want to get at. Shiny Legends, Legendary Chinese, Legendary Treasures. What is the new set? It's Hidden Fates, Shining Legends, garbage, trash. The new Charizard, the new Shining Charizard. I'm telling you right now, and I mean this. First of all, Shining Legends, I have never been as disappointed, and this is going to come out bad. A lot of people are going to be mad. Shining Legends, I've never been so disappointed in a set. That's it. Just, you know that like old saying where somebody says, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Well, guess what? Pokemon, I'm not mad, I'm just really, really disappointed. Shining Legends is gonna be one of those worst sets ever. Oh, is it not Legends? It's Treasures? Oh my god, I don't even fucking know what the name of it. I'm saying Shining Legends. We already had a Shining Legends set. Sorry. Shining Treasures. Legendary Treasures. Yes. Legendary Collection. Too many legendary. Too many names. Shining Treasures. Let me make sure I say that correctly. Shining Treasures. Trash. Trash set. It is not good. It is bad. I've seen all the cards. Like, Paradox, I know there's a lot of people out there excited about Paradox. I'm not. Trash that. I'm just telling you right now, Shining Treasures is just a disappointing set. It's all around disappointing. You look at Hidden Fates. Yeah, Hidden Fates is cool. You have your Shining Pokemon, and then Shining Fates came out, and they're like, okay, that's cool. They bring it back. Okay, I get it. Hidden Fates had Chase Charizard, had all these baby Shinings. You look at like the Charmander and stuff. It was like, okay, fun set. And then, you think about the perfect timeline for Shining Fates to drop, because even though Hidden Fates seems like a relatively recent set, a set that everybody knows, a set that probably most people have open, in reality, a lot of people actually, and I know some people out there are going to find this very hard to believe, appreciate Son of Mewtwo with the 499 super chat, but a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people weren't in this hobby for Hidden Fates, and I know that sounds crazy to some people out there, but that is the truth. A lot of people were getting into Pokemon during that Champion's Path time. That is way after Hidden Fates. And then that Shining Fates, that's when people were like really diving fucking balls deep into this hobby, was during Shining Fates. And so Shining Fates just worked. It had Chase Charizards in it. It's what like the new collector wanted. It had Shining Pokemon again. People kind of knew about Hidden Fates, but maybe they weren't really buying it. And I know that sounds crazy, and you would think that Hidden Fates is a set that every single person owns sealed product of. That's like a hill I was willing to die on for a while, that I think everybody out there at least owns one Hidden Fates product sealed, because it was just that one product everybody seemed to own. But the more I talked to people, the more I found out it's like people just don't have Hidden Fates because they weren't around for Hidden Fates, and I know that's crazy. But anyways, Shining Fates made sense. Still a lot of hype behind it. $120 plus ETBs for pre-order. Shining Fates had everything going for it. Perfect timeline. Pokemon, they really needed to do something crazy with this next set. Shining Treasures just doesn't do it for me. It's lackluster. In modern Pokemon, I'm going to make the argument right now that we are in the worst, and this is going to be crazy to say, because we're coming out of literally the best of all modern Pokemon, coming out of like Sword and Shield and all these later sets. We are now moving into the worst timeline in modern Pokemon's history. I know. That is a real, like, heavy statement right there, because modern Pokemon is subjective. People are going to go, well, what about Black and White? What about XY? There was downtimes for there. People are going to point out your Steam sieges for XY. People are going to look at, like, stagnation periods with evolution. People are going to look at Sun and Moon. They're going to look at early Sun and Moon sets. They're going to point out the Crimson Invasion. They're going to do all this stuff. I'm telling you right now, it's different. And what I mean by that is, when you talk to anybody, even when they were in those sets, whether it's Black and White, when they were actively in Pokemon, people still enjoyed Black and White sets. A lot of people out there look at Black and White sets from the outside looking in. This is the caveat. A lot of people just weren't around for Black and White. The people that were around for XY, people still enjoyed XY. The people that were around for Sun and Moon loved Sun and Moon. The people that were around for Sword and Shield, which is most people, everyone loved Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is like unanimously one of the best timelines in the history of Pokemon. A lot of people say that. You look at all the surrounding hype and everything. We are now living in modern, with a lot of people still entering the hobby, and there's just not the love there for all this Scarlet and Violet stuff. Scarlet and Violet base was a stinker. Paldea Evolved, stinker. Obsidian Flames, stinker. Paradox Rift, freaking stinker. 151 holds its own. 151, solid set. This is the thing. When I think in the future, in the history, and we got to remove yourself now, 5 years, 10 years down the line, when people look back on this timeline, they're not even going to think of 151 of what it really is. What is 151? Technically, like SV4, like Scarlet and Violet 4, is that what it technically is? People will never reference it like that. They will reference it the same way they reference. I mean, 151 is a set people like, but Shining Legends. Can you tell me the set that came out before Shining Legends? Can you tell me the set that came out after Shining Legends? Probably not. Hidden Fates. Can you tell me the set that came out before Hidden Fates? Can you tell me the set that came out after Hidden Fates? Probably not. Probably not. Double Crisis. Can you tell me the set that came before Double Crisis? Can you tell me the set that came after Double Crisis? Probably not. I was going to say Celebrations. Generations. Can you tell me the set that came before Generations? Can you tell me the set that came after Generations? Probably not. Dragon Vault. Can you tell me the set that came before Dragon Vault? Can you tell me the set that came after Dragon Vault? The answer to most of those questions is probably no. You'd have to go on Bulbapedia, you'd probably have to look at set lists, and you'd have to figure out which set came before Generations, which set came after Generations, because most people don't know that. So that is what I mean by 151. In the future, 5-10 years, 151 will just be on its own. People won't even include 151 in this timeline, because the same way as people can't tell you the set that came before Generations, and the same way people can't tell you the set that came after Generations, will be the same way in 5-10 years people look at 151. They won't be able to tell you the set that came before. They won't be able to tell you the set that came after. Right now, we are living in the now. We are living into today. So yes, everybody out there will be able to say, oh, that's an easy one, PK. The set that came before 151 was Obsidian Flames. The set that came after it was Paradox Rift. A lot of people are going to be able to say that. 5 years, 10 years down the line, there will be nobody out there who will be able to tell you that. The same way as I just talked about Generations, or Dragon Vault, or Shining Legends, or Double Crisis, or any of these other specialty sets. Nobody could tell you the set before, nobody could tell you the set after. So 151 will be on its own. Removing 151, we are in just a stinker timeline. It's bad. It's bad for reasons that are beyond my control. It's bad for reasons that are beyond your control. The number one reason that it's bad is none of these sets inherently, when you stand these sets alone and you compare these sets against most sets in the history of Pokemon, when you take Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift, and you put them 1-to-1 against most sets in the history of this hobby, Scarlet and Violet beats out a lot of these sets. Paldea Evolved definitely beats out a lot of these sets. Obsidian Flames being a Charizard set still beats out a lot of these sets. The problem is I just don't see people loving this timeline in the future. It's going to be interesting because I think everybody came out of Sword and Shield. Everybody was so spoiled in Sword and Shield. The problem is I'm still bullish on Pokemon, whether people believe it or not. I think the sets are going to be following this timeline. I think and I pray and I hope that they're going to get better, and I honestly do believe that. I do believe that the sets that are going to be following this timeline, this Shining Treasures or whatever, the Shining Treasured sets, like, I do believe that eventually we are going to get good sets. The same way that most early blocks, when you look at Sword and Shield base, they're lackluster sets. When you look at Sun and Moon sets, they're still lackluster. But the difference is when you talk to people, even when you talk to them, especially people that were new into the hobby, and you talk about these early Sword and Shield sets, they don't look at them like frowned upon. They may not want to go after them and open them, but they don't look at them poorly. Like, history is very rewarding to these early sets. There's a lot of people, because of the timeline they got in, that November timeline of 2020. What was the set that was released in November 2020? It was Vivid Voltage. A lot of people have a lot of passion for that. The set right before that, again, was Champion's Path. People still have a lot of, nostalgia before that. And then even, Darkness Ablaze, people remember chasing that Charizard VMAX. Whether that Charizard VMAX is a true chase or not, people still remember that. And even the trashy sets, Rebel Trash, people still like Sword and Shield base, people still like it. I mean, people still talk about Zacian and Zamazenta cards, like those gold cards, and they look fondly upon them. The problem is I think everybody was just so spoiled with those later Sword and Shield sets. And when you think of the later Sword and Shield sets, it's everything after Vivid Voltage. Shining Fates. When you look at, and these are just the specialty sets, Shining Fates, Celebration. Celebration is going to go down as one of the best sets in the history of this hobby. But even before that, any main expansion after Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles on. Yes, while Battle Styles gets a bad rap, it still introduced, character rare cards. Until you had your, Battle Styles, Chill and Rain, Evolving Skies. People are still creaming their pants about Evolving Skies. And we're 2 years removed from that set being released. Into your Fusion Strikes, and until, Brilliant Stars, and Brilliant Stars bringing back character rares, and then character rares onward. Just all these sets, just full of monsters. Every single late Sun and Moon, it's too many different expansions. Every single late Sword and Shield set, everybody has some sort of nostalgic tie to one of these sets, one of these main chases. They look back on them fondly. I don't care if it's Astral Radiance. I don't care if it's Lost Origins with the Garantina, the Aerodactyl. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the set, whether it's Silver Tempest, and people still love that Lugia. And a lot of these prices for these singles are maybe actually good buying opportunities with how expensive it is to really pull these cards. And when I say expensive, pull the card is just pull rates for a lot of this stuff was pretty abysmal for the most part, but people still look at this stuff with just this crazy nostalgia. Just don't see it for Scarlet and Violet. Sorry, don't see it. I talk to people. I talk a lot to people. People just don't seem passionate about it. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in the stores. When I go into my Walmart and I'll go grab a 8-pack of Gatorade or whatever on the way out, I'll go walk by the card section. I'm not buying cards because I'm not paying crazy Walmart prices to pick it up off the shelf. But I'll look, and I like to look just what's sitting on the shelf. What's sitting on the shelf today? Very rarely are there any 151 product. The only product I ever see sitting on a Walmart shelf is maybe an ETB, maybe a binder collection, literally the binder collection, the thing that people want least of all the 151 product. That might be the one sitting. But any of these booster bundle stuff like that, I never see that stuff on the shelves. Maybe it's just the timing that I'm going there. It's just poor timing. But I'm not seeing any 151. Any other Scarlet and Violet set, go ahead. You just it's just a buffet right there. Anything you want. You want single pack check lane blisters of anything. You want 3-pack blisters of any of these Scarlet and Violet sets. You want ETBs of any of these sets. They're all there. They're all there for the taking. Any of these tins, and the good tins and the bad tins. Any of what I would consider the bad tins. So bad tin is, anything without Evolving Skies pack in it. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Those tins are sitting. Anything that is kind of worth it. Any collection box that has a decent assortment of packs, they're missing. But all this new collection boxes, they're all sitting there. And we're coming back to the days of stuff going on clearance. You should, first of all, so now that was a Walmart rant, but let's remove out of Walmart, because I don't think most people watching this video are buying their packs from Walmart. But let's look at a lot of these people doing online sales, some of these real big sellers. Shout out to Pokemon TCG drops. I will give a shout out to Pokemon TC drops from now to the day I die, as long as he keeps doing all the super positive stuff he's doing for this community, because dude's an absolute rock star. He's been on my channel in the past. If you haven't watched that interview, I recommend you going back, watching that interview. Pokemon TCG drops. I've got to know him as a person. Great dude. Does tons of stuff for the community, but my God, think of all the most recent posts he's posted with just tons of product on clearance. A lot of these, online stores are just dumping product at crazy prices. And we've always seen the crazy price dumps where it's been we'll have a huge smoke and mirror sale, or maybe you'll have a great Safari Zone deal. And, those are the ones that kind of stick out. But now it just seems like everybody's just doing those crazy deals. And then when I get nervous and I say, a lot of this Scarlet and Violet, timeline's pretty shitty. I said, well, what are pre-orders doing? You don't have to go back too far. Scarlet and Violet base pre-orders were 110. I was all right, I think pre-order 110, that's not bad. Paldea Evolved, again, pre-orders 110, not bad. Some 105 pre-orders, but for the most part, they were 110. And then Obsidian Flames, it dropped $10. It's okay, pre-orders at $100. That's dicey territory. It's okay, yeah, you get the pre-orders in. A lot of these LGSs or online stores, they're going to get free loans for a little while, but there's not a lot of meat on the bones at $99 or $100 for Obsidian Flames. They're picking this up for, between $90 and $95 at, through wholesale, through distribution. And then now I'm seeing what Paradox Rift is pre-ordering for, and you can pick this stuff up for between 90 and 95. That's already sub-distribution prices for pre-order stuff, so it's like, okay, that's not good. Went from Scarlet and Violet Base and Paldea really healthy at 110 to Obsidian at 100 to now Paradox Rift is pre-ordering at 95. It's like, how long does this keep going on? And then now we're starting to see, like, I think a lot of people are just grasping on to 151 because, I'm going to be honest with you, 151, freaking slam dunk set. And I told you, in 5-10 years, people will still talk about 151. And 151 will go down in history as one of the best sets that Pokemon has ever created. Now, it won't go down as the best set because you got to remember, the next set is always, it won't go down as the best set because everyone should know that the next set is always the best set. It's the big meme in Pokemon. The next set is always the best set. And 151 probably won't go down as the best, but it will go down in a lot of people's conversations as one of the best. Now, people could say what you want about the original 151. Listen, 151, it moves product. Like, people love their Charizards, people love their Blastoise, people love their Venusaurs, people love their Pikachus, people love those original 151s. It is what it is. I don't make the rules, those are just the rules. Whether people could do what they want, they could, try to scream it from the mountaintops that people don't like 151. Well, that's not really the case. Even, I'm not going to do, like, all the best sets, but, like, even other main expansions that people love, people that talked about, like, people talk about Celebrations as being a fantastic set. Well, why is Celebrations good? Because it had the big three. It had that original 151. It had a lot of that vintage vibe. It had a lot of good Pokemon. Before that, Hidden Fates. Why was Hidden Fates a great set? Well, Hidden Fates had that 151 vibe to it. Generations. Why was Generations, popular? Why did people flock after these? The same Pokemon. It's the same recipe going over time after time. But the problem is you can only do that recipe so many times. If you're not going to change up that recipe even a little bit, just throw a little dice of spice in there. And that's what we're trying to do on this channel. Throw a little spice at you. And guess what? Pokemon, you're not throwing enough spice in there. I'm telling you, I'm nervous. I am so freaking nervous about this entire block of Pokemon. I'm looking at a lot of stuff right now and things that I should be pulling the trigger right now, and I should be pulling the trigger and picking up $80 booster boxes. I should be. I think $80 is a great buying opportunity. Like, the same way as I told you Scarlet and Violet pre-orders were 110, I picked up, again, when I pick up my pre-orders, because I was collecting booster box collection at the time of Scarlet and Violet base release, one for myself, one for my son. I picked it up at 110 because I had no freaking clue what that was going to do. I never pretended. I said, picking up my pre-orders at 110. Again, those are not investment pieces. Those are collection pieces. One for myself, one for my son's booster box collection. Now, he's not even going to have to touch till he's 18, so I don't freaking care about 110 versus 80. But now when it comes to investing and start talking about, like, acquiring positions, putting a couple cases away, I'm looking at $80. Keep looking at it. Look at it every single day. And I'm like, is today the day I want to pull the trigger and pick up a bunch of cases of Scarlet and Violet base? And every day it goes by, I go, not today. Next day comes. Not today. The day after that comes. Not today, not today, not today. When is that day going to come? Am I just going to have to, like, play catch up? Maybe just figure out, like, where the true bottom is. Wait for, like, a 20% gain to be included in that. And then once I start to see, like, the market and the indicators and everything that I look for a product on the uptrend, and then kind of just sit back and wait. And sadly, the problem is like, that's where I'm comfortable with some of this stuff. And that's crazy. And you're just like, well, what do you mean you're going to wait? You're going to wait to pick up positions? Like, isn't the whole thought of Pokemon Invest In is you want to try to pick up this stuff at its absolute rock bottom, at its lowest dollar amount, so when prices do start to go up, you get to already get those percentages. Especially what happens if those percentage gains come really fast? What if we're talking Scarlet and Violet base goes from 80 a booster box? What if it goes to 120 in a 3-month timeline? Are you going to be able to catch it perfectly? Are you be able to still pick it up at 90 or 95 or 100? Are you going to be able to get those gains? And the problem is, and this is the worst problem, I'm sitting back and I'm just looking at it and go, yeah, I'm just going to let this one go by. It's crazy to think about. And I don't know if this is like a gut thing. Like, listen, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people out there are like, show the numbers, PK, all this stuff. Listen, I rant on this channel for hours at a time. There's thousands of hours of ranting of me ranting on this channel. If you haven't caught on by this point, this late in the game, 3 years after the fact this channel's been created, that I just rant and I'm just going to tell you what's on my mind at that point. I'm just going to tell you how I feel. That's what I built this channel around to this point, is me telling you what I think. That's all. You want to dive into the numbers? There's plenty of other channels for that. This is not one of those. I never pretend this is one of those channels. That's why when you go back and you type into the Google search bar and you type in my name of this channel and you type in the word rant, you'll probably get, I don't know, 40 different lives that have the word rant in it, because that's what it is. Guess what? Go back and look at the video you're watching right now. Look at the last word in the title of that video. It is rant. That's what I'm going to do. That's not even scratching the iceberg of, oh my God, you know what iceberg looks like, right? So iceberg, it's floating through the water. You got this little teeny like iceberg. I mean, icebergs are big. Look what happened to the Titanic. But you got like a big part sticking out the water. But when you zoom out and you look at what's underneath the water, those are all the thoughts. Those are all the topics that I need to touch right now. We've only just reached the tip of this iceberg right now. There's the bottom. The Titanic killer. That's what's like floating below the waterline right now. And there's just so many things to talk about right now, and I don't want to like go off on this crazy topic, but okay. I'm going to go scroll up to the top of the chat, and then yeah, I want to figure out what's the hell's going on with my Pokemon Center promos. That's going to be another live. Mr. James from Z&G Emporium, pick up your phone, 867-5309. Jenny's going to pick up. Ask her if you could speak to PK. I still need to talk to you. I want to talk about my pack grading plays, like to everybody else out there. I want to make videos about that. I want to talk about some other stuff. The packs are still going out into the Z&G auction blocks. I don't have like a link for those right now. I maybe will have it after this video. I don't know. Hopefully have that soon. I could post a link for that. Talk about those plays. Also send a couple other cards away to Z&G for consignment. I want to talk about those. There's only so much time in the day. There's only 24 hours in the day, and I need to talk for 25 hours, but I am going to scroll up to the top of the chat. Listen, I know this was a last second live. I know there's a lot of other people going live right now, and I appreciate that there's so many people who hopped into this live with no notice. I really got to get better at that, but yeah. Anyways, Drew, I missed your name in the chat, my friend. Number 1 mod in the game, Drew. Always first the comment says, hey, PK, what up? We got Pokey Snipes, Busty B. Aaron says, what's all y'all? Glad you're alive, PK. Yes. The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. And a lot of people are asking where I am. Dude, RSV, man. RSV kicked me in the butt. And if you could hear it in my voice, like I'm trying to catch my breath in between these long lies. I had the puffin inhaler the other day because I was like having trouble breathing. Well, first of all, I don't want to like go off Pokemon, but what the hell is RSV? Why did I never hear about RSV before I sent a kid to daycare 2 years ago? And now RSV just comes up like once a month. We get RSV, and it just freaking goes through the whole family. Where was that when I was a kid? We had chickenpox. We had the flu. I don't remember RSV. Where is this coming from? Is this a new disease? Is this an old disease? But now I only get it because I got a young kid. But I was a young kid at one point, I think. Unless PK just came out a full-grown, ranting, crying man. But I think I came out as a baby, and I think I grew up. But I didn't get RSV as a kid. But now that I'm an adult, get RSV. And everybody I know gets RSV. Every single one of my friends with kids. Every person that I work with, their kids have it. It's like, why does everyone have this? What is going on? Is there any of the conspiracy theorists in the chat? Anybody got their tinfoil hat on? Can tell me what the hell's going on? Let's see. Roy says, where you been? I've been. That's what I just answered. Pokemon Dentist. Good to see you. He said, you've been missed. Let's hear it. Science Guy 87 said, PK hit us with the sick rant. Yeah. Rantapalooza. That is right. So, Pokemon Breeder Max says, I feel you, PK, 3 out of 5. Pokemon Breeder Max, I would like to know, did you pick up any of the Fusion Strike packs? Were you one of the people that were absolutely scummed by Pokemon Center? I'm going to tell you what. Let's put on that magic tinfoil fedora. If Pokemon Center did just want to clear a bunch of product, which this promo would have been a great way to do that. If they want to just clear a bunch of product and not send these promos to a lot of people, it seemed to work because they cleared out a lot of crappy stuff. I'm telling you, I am not in the market for $3.99 sleeved Fusion Strike packs. I am not. But guess what? Because of that stupid Pikachu in the gray felt hat promo, I was in the market for them. And I had to buy 8 of them at a time in order to get my price above $30. And guess what? They didn't give me my Pikachu in a gray felt hat promo. Again, working through Pokemon Center support right now. Might as well be working through I want to say Telegram, but at least Telegram, you're going to probably get a response on the other end. Maybe this is the Pony Express, because as slow as PokemonCenter.com support is right now, it might as well be the Pony Express. You write a letter, you put it in an envelope, you find somebody on a freaking pony to ride it across the country for you. That's the moment we are living in right now. Yes, I went on Pokemon Center. You could go on, you could talk to their live chat. I gave them my order. The thing that I'm still clinging on to hope for, and that hope is fading. Day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, that hope is fading. But one of the things that I at least got is that my order is still processing, and they say that my entire order has not been shipped. So I don't know what that means. It has happened to me one other time with Special Delivery Charizard. I did get a package without a Special Delivery Charizard, and my Special Delivery Charizard just came by itself in its own single bubble mailer. Just Special Delivery Charizard, no other product in it, and ironically, I think I made a video talking about this in the past, that Special Delivery Charizard, that single promo, somehow made it to my house faster than the product that I purchased in order to get the Special Delivery Charizard promo. That promo made it to my house before the package. So, holding on to hope. I'm praying that this happens because, if I lose out on 2 of these Pikachu in the gray felt hat promos, one, I don't want the freaking Fusion Strike packs, and 2 promos for a card like that is pretty crazy. And listen, I did the speculation. I thought, okay, well, maybe PokemonCenter.com, that was just a one-time release that you're going to, release these day after day, and it's going to keep seeing, random releases in order to just move product, and maybe we're going to see reprints of these promos. From what it feels like right now is that might not be a possibility. Or that might not be a reality. And if that's the case, that's not a possibility and that's not a reality. These Pikachu and gray felt hat promos, they might be doing pretty good in the long run. Especially, there's going to be that huge barrier of entry for these promos there's 3 barriers of entry to that promo. First barrier of entry is you had to go to the museum in the Netherlands. That's a huge barrier of entry for most of the people in the world. Second barrier of entry, it was only available on Canada, United States, and the UK Pokemon Center, and those things sold out instantly. The third barrier of entry is even if you missed those other 2 opportunities, you still had your chance. That barrier of opportunity barrier of entry only lasted for 1 hour. So those are a lot of barriers of entry for that card, and if we don't see any more releases of those cards, they're probably going to do pretty good in the long term. You still look at cards like Special Delivery Pikachu. Special Delivery Pikachu was available for 7 days, 1 whole week. I know in today's thought of promos, a week might as well be a freaking eternity, but at least Special Delivery Pikachus did exist for a week. Special Delivery Bidoof, super exclusive, super tough to get. If you didn't get an email from Pokemon Center with a promo code, you are shit out of luck. Special Delivery Charizard, listen, I'm on the sideline of if you want a Special Delivery Charizard, you had your opportunity. Even if you didn't get a code, even though they had 12 different releases of those codes, 12 different batches, even if you were one of the very unlucky souls that wasn't able to get one of those Special Delivery Charizard codes, you still had your opportunity at one point to pick up those codes selling at less than $5 on eBay. And those codes worked. You had this. I'm just saying. This promo might be something a lot of people like, and it just is what it is. Unless there's always time. Time, crazy thing about time is time's forever. So Pokemon has the ability to go back and reprint this promo, and they kind of already made the press release that they said that they were going to give people other options to get this promo, and there's nothing preventing Pokemon from printing anything, and especially nothing preventing Pokemon from printing a promo, in a little cellophane pack. What do you think the cost of a promo is? Just a Pikachu and a gray felt hat promo. Let's just say 2 cents. I'd bet you it's not that much, but that's just raw materials. Let's just say people to package it and everything, people to touch it. Let's just round it up. And this is a stupid rounded up number I'm going to get to, but I've just for the shits and giggles, I'm going to say 25 cents, a quarter. 1/4 of a dollar. I don't think it costs that much, but just for the sake of argument, they could spend 25 cents and instantly sell $30 worth of product on Pokemon Center. That sounds like a pretty good investment, but for whatever reason, doesn't seem like that might be happening, and if that's the case, God, those cards are going to do stupid things in the future. I mean, you already look at what PSA 10s are doing. PSA 10 prices are still holding pretty strong. The raw prices of these promos are still holding pretty strong. The people that are picking up raw ones on eBay in order to grade these, you guys are doing dangerous stuff. Like, you better hope that that promo is not damaged. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm just going to word of advice out there for the 100 people watching this video, for the 1,000 people that are going to watch this video after the fact. I promise you, I'm going to give you a warning. If you see me selling a sealed Pikachu and gray felt hat promo on my eBay page, please do not buy that. That card will not be gradable. If I have a card that is gradable, it will be sent away to be graded, and it will be encapsulated. Even the 9s are still selling for stronger premiums than like the sealed ones. So it's like, again, this is going to be a mass graded promo, but if it's rarity, if there's scarcity to it, if there's still demand, I hate, in a way, I do hate that this promo is going to probably do so well in the long term. And the only reason I hate that is because I feel like, and the reason I use the word hate is because Pokemon just dropped the ball. Like, talk about a failed release. And listen, we are so far out of the hype and everything and all the craziness, but we are still in 2023. Pokemon Center, like, the people at Pokemon, they gotta know. They gotta know what the demand is really like. And if they don't, then they are really bad at their jobs. Is there not one person that works at Pokemon and go, you know what? People are probably going to really want this promo. This is going to probably cause a lot of mayhem if we release this. And especially if we're going to release it in the way that they were planning on it. Like, we assume that just everybody at Pokemon is doing the right thing. Because I'll tell you right now, Pokemon does make a lot of really good choices. But when they make really poor choices, really bad ones, my God, they do the worst decisions possible. Just, they drop the ball time and time. Set after set, release after release sometimes. But like it's the worst part. It's like that scene from Dumb and Dumber though too, because they could just do the stupidest thing, but they do that one good thing, and it's like, just when I thought you couldn't be any stupider, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. And like, that's what Pokemon will do. They'll just do dumb thing after dumb thing, and then just totally redeem themselves, and everybody just loses their mind. And that's probably just the facts. That is a reality, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. Let's see. Back to the super chat from Son of Mewtwo. I appreciate you. Overhaul in 27 says, any update about CGC grading? Prices of the cards are low, but I see so many guys say that they like the label a lot. Maybe CGC will be stronger than expected. If you came to this channel and expect me to say one good thing about CGC, you are at the wrong channel, my friend. CGC is trash company, trash leadership, trash slabs, trash label, trash that they changed the grading scales, trash the fact that they charged a bunch of people for at the end of a year when they shouldn't have charged them and hit a lot of people. Trash that one time CGC had their highest grade, which was a perfect 10, which they don't even have anymore. But trash the fact that as a company, they hid their perfect 10 behind a paywall because you couldn't get a perfect 10 unless you paid for subgrades. So if you didn't pay for subgrades, the highest grade you could get is a pristine, but it doesn't matter because they got rid of perfect 10s anyways. The fact that CGC was obviously biased graders. They wouldn't give like pristine 10s to cards that people paid for subgrades. They graded cards harder with subgrades. The fact that CGC cards sell for less. The fact that their motto is you can't call up a CGC grader and ask to speak to that grader because they're going to say, nope, sorry, you can't speak to the grader and find out why your card graded the way it did because we like to do unbiased grading. We want our graders to be blind. They don't know whose cards are graded. But then you'll have Matt Quinn at the time, the head grader. He's now like whatever, the CEO or head of trading card grading. He'll sit at the same table as Chum-Li from Pawn Stars and grade his cards. And, oh, ironically, Chum-Li got a pristine Eevee graded, one of the most expensive cards in Jungle. And what was the other most expensive common in Jungle? A Pikachu. What was the other pristine that Chum-Li got? A pristine Pikachu. You got a, oh, that, amazing. Pristine Pikachu, pristine Eevee. That's weird. We've never seen these cards graded in a pristine. Oh, but wait, when you're opening this box, you also got the head grader sitting right next to you, but I can't talk to their grader because they don't do that. They want their graders to be blind. Blind grading, no biases intact. CGC is wrapped in just bad company. Bad company. Sorry. Overhauling, to answer your question, any update on CGC grading? CGC is trash company, trash grading, worst leadership. The problem is, CGC, above all other things, is customer service is trash. Their representation is trash. Their public, like all the people that do all their press releases, trash. CGC did a Instagram live with pre-scripted questions. You could tell they're pre-scripted because I was in the live chat and I was looking, was anybody asking these questions that they were answering? Nobody was answering the pre-scripted questions, and guess what? All they did was botch every single answer. They couldn't even give good answers. It's just bad. Bad company. Stay away from CGC. You didn't think I'd get a CGC ran in, but you see, this is the thing. You underestimate me. Don't underestimate my channel. If you give me a chance to go after CGC, I'll go after CGC every freaking time. They're bad. Bad people. They should be ashamed of themselves. And I look forward to the eventual demise of CGC. And when that time comes, I will dance on the CGC grave. You know, hurt me once, shame on you. Hurt me twice, shame on me. But CGC, I'm not going to give you that second chance. You're never going to get the second chance. You got the one chance. You hurt me, sent you a bunch of cards right at, I don't want to get around to turnaround times. Advertised turnaround times at CGC in November of 2020 of 30 business day turnaround times, and then ended up being 180 business day turnaround times. And then everybody out there, CGC fanboy, likes to come out and be like, yeah, but what about PSA? That's what they always like to do. Oh, it doesn't matter what CGC does bad. Well, PSA did this. BGS did this, SGC did this. It doesn't matter. I don't freaking care what PSA did or BGS. You want to know why? Because CGC was a new kid in town, and CGC being the new kid in town, you're not supposed to allow the same issues that happen with all these other grading card companies to also happen with you. You're supposed to be better. You're supposed to rise above. Competition is supposed to be good in this hobby. And then what is CGC still doing? They grade pre-release cards. You know, don't forget, when Shining Fates was released, before they knew the name of that Shining Fates Charizard, they put it in a special pedigree slab as unknown set, pre-release, like early release for that Shining Charizard. Like, just scummy stuff. See, she's just a scummy company ran by, like, what seems to be really, and again, this is all my opinion, but what seems to be really scummy people running it, too, who don't seem to have any of the, like thought of the collector or investor. I mean, you just see what happened with just like Rattle just made that video showing like the card that Rusty bought, and I don't know like all the issues that are going on there, but it seems like pretty iffy. And then a lot of people were doing altered cards. CGC wasn't really like doing anything about altered cards at the beginning. You know, Rattle's reached out to CGC on so many different occasions. Opossum Butt has reached out to CGC on so many different occasions, given CGC all the evidence that they need about some of the cards they're grading, how some of the stuff was altered, about all this shit, and they just don't seem to care. They just don't seem to care, especially when it comes to, like, cards that are being altered. They're still grading these cards. And then you have that Shining Verts guy who just took a pair of freaking scissors, looked like he was in kindergarten art class, and did a bunch of cuts on his card, sent it to CGC, which, I mean, that should instantly throw up red flags that you're getting multiple crazy miscuts of cards, and CGC still decides to encapsulate them and put them as errors and label them as error and label them as miscuts, and the dude just took a pair of scissors and cut them up. This is not something that happened years ago. This is something that happened, like, within the last couple months. So that was that's all the nice stuff I could say about CGC. If I keep talking, I will start to say mean things about CGC. So I have to stop myself at this point. But to answer your question, overhaul in 27, any updates about CGC grading, that is where I stand. It's in the title of the video. Pokemon Rants. Don't underestimate the ranter's ability to rant. Put it on a billboard. No, let's put it on a t-shirt. Don't underestimate the ranter's ability to rant. Oh, that's a good t-shirt. Do I need t-shirts? I don't think I'm ready for t-shirts. Maybe someday. Like Rattle gets hats. Maybe I'll get a PK hat one day. Aaron, son of a Mewtwo. Let's see. Son of Merc says... Son of a Merc says, are we talking monetarily or artwork for Scarlet and Violet? They've been good at setting scenes and telling stories. I do like some of their stories, definitely. Like the Ralts line all the way up to the Gardevoir. Love that artwork. Speaking of Shining Treasures, you could go to Legendary Treasures. Legendary Treasures has some of my favorite, like, artwork scenes ever. Usually I got cards in front of me, but I don't think I have that artwork in front of me. But it, like, shows the whole evolutions line of Tepig, but I don't have that. Oh, wait, I do. Oh my god, see? Don't underestimate my ability to pull out cards. So, let me see if I could. So, the same way I like the Ralts all the way up to the Gardevoir, you have this line. So, you got the Tepig, you got the little kid, he gets his little Tepig as a kid. And then you got the Pig Knight, and then, so it grew up. You know, you got the same dad with the green shirt. You got the mom with the pink. The little kid, he's now grown up, but he's still got the same shirt. But now he's got a little baby sister until eventually he grows up. And then you got the Embor. And then now the kid is an adult. He has kids of his own. And then you have the parents are now grandparents. But if you look, like, the baby's looking up at the Embor. And if you look in this one, like, it's the way they're, like, looking at each other. So I love artworks that tell stories. Like, in this one from Legendary Treasures, it tells that story. So, Son of a Merc, when you're talking artwork-wise for Scarlet and Violet is doing some great artworks. I will give them that. But it's not even just monetarily-wise. I think a lot of the stuff is just not going to be looked back on as fondly. But then again, Legendary Treasures... You can make the argument, and this is a weird argument to make. A lot of people don't even probably can't even name to you, like, what are the chases of Legendary Treasures? They might not know that. And, you know, like, when you say, like, gold cards and stuff like this, people are going to be like, what's a gold card? So, it's the same way. But the thing is people that were around for Legendary Treasures, they do enjoy those sets. And especially when sets were really selling for cheap and people wanted, like, those cheap packs and those cheap affordable options, they're going to look back on sets like that because they were like, well, when Pokemon was at its low point and you could pick up packs for $1 or $2, Legendary Treasures, while it was a good set, you could actually pick up packs for that cheap. So people actually who were around during that time still look back on that set fondly. The problem is as time moves on, as newer people come on, they might not have that relationship with these sets. The problem is the people that are in this hobby today, I just don't know if they're going to have that relationship in the future like they should. Or at least, maybe not should. Should is probably a poor choice of words, but the same way as I hope these people will. Let's see. Son of a Mewtwo said, just wait until they bring back Ash in the anime a few years from now. The new kids will be teens plus and feel the same nostalgia many of us feel now with the 151. Don't worry, the Pokemon Company knows what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Ash is Ash stays 10 forever, like in reality, right? The same way Ash is always 10, the same way Misty's always 10, and I don't really know how old Brock is. That shows you. I'm not a true Pokemon fan. I don't know how old Brock is. But, what is he, 14, 16? He's old. He's old. But, yeah, I mean, you could bring back all these people at any point because they never age. So, and then Pokemon also, especially with the anime, like, Pokemon has a ability to reset itself. And what do I mean by that, reset itself? Is, well, while Ash's go-to Pokemon is always going to be his ride or die, and his ride or die is Pikachu. Obviously, everyone knows that. Pikachu, for being a Pikachu, is one of the strongest Pikachu, if not the strongest Pikachu ever. And if you go back all the way to like season 1 of the anime, and Pikachu at the hydroelectric plant, and was it Brockstad? I don't know if it was Brockstad. Maybe it was Brockstad, but either way, they supercharged Pikachu at the hydroelectric plant, and that's given Pikachu like this power that is potentially still last him to this day. Pikachu is a very high level Pikachu. Doesn't want to evolve into okay, he's very strong. But they have the ability to reset itself because, Ash has the ability to also carry 5 other Pokemon with him. And Ash doesn't have to carry around Greninja and Dragonite and Charizard as some of those other Pokemon. Like, he doesn't need to bring his strongest Pokemon with him. He could bring whatever the new evolutions are. Could be those other 5 Pokemon. So, even though Ash, as a trainer who has really strong Pokemon, the anime itself is able to reset because Ash might just have like these real low-level Pokemon that he's going on his new journey with in some new region. So like that is the one thing Pokemon has. So it is very easy to bring back to bring back Ash and say, well, how are you going to bring back a guy that has some of the strongest Pokemon in the universe in the known Pokemon world? It's like, well, you bring back Ash, who's still a good trainer, but you give him real low-level Pokemon and then see what he can do, and he'll have to work with those Pokemon, evolve it the same way every single season, whether it's Season 1, if it's Season 10, Black and White, or whatever, it is what it is. Okay. Northwoods TCG said, I tried watching the new anime without Ash and Pikachu, and even my son didn't like it. Bring back Ash and Pikachu. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I'm not up to date with, like, any of the new. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes, like, I'll go back and watch some Pokemon stuff. I'll watch all the movies, even though I have like, I don't like Pokemon the movie number 3 with Entei and the little girl in the castle. Like, it's a struggle to get through that movie, but like, I'll go back and watch the original Pokemon the movie. But then, fast forward to modern day and you get like a Netflix Mewtwo Strikes Back, and it's just the same storyline, but somehow took the same storyline from the original Pokemon movie and somehow like made it a little bit worse, made it not as enjoyable. Now, could be not as enjoyable because I'm 20 years older after the fact watching Mewtwo Strikes Back opposed to when I was watching the original Pokemon movie. I'm sure that probably has like a lot to do with it, but I watch the movies. But some of the anime, man, some of it can be tough to get through. For sure, it can be tough to get through. I would like Pokemon to be, and I think there are possibly doing it. I know they're going to do the live action stuff. Detective Pikachu was a live action. I enjoyed Detective Pikachu. I thought it was really good. It was like definitely worth the watch. But I do hope that Pokemon could somehow segue to an older audience. I know that kind of goes against, like, in a way, their entire IP of how the show works, to be able to, because it's always catered for kids. Like, Pokemon 7 and up, like, for the TV show. I think it's TVY. Y7, is that still a thing? Is still movie, TV grading scales a thing all the way up to MA? But you can make a more adult, I'm not saying you have to make it like a Walking Dead violence, Game of Thrones type Pokemon TV show. No, but you could still make it a little bit more, I call it palatable, or more digestible for the more grown-up fan. That would be something I hope Pokemon could do in the future. And I'm sure that conversation has been thrown out, especially what they say, well, what's a lot of our collector base? We still have the kids, but there's still a lot of adults that are really super actively engaged in Pokemon, and they would probably like a more mature television show. That could be wishful thinking, though. So Pokemon Breeder Max said, he agreed with Max. He said the sets are better, pull rates are better. It's just that you can't line up at Target and buy out a shipment and flip for 1.5 the value on new seal product. That is also very true. Real quick, I want to hop down to the... Oh my god. You guys are... I'm way far back in the chat, aren't I? Trading Card 69 says... Appreciate the super chat, so I hop to the bottom. He says, do you see rainbow cards from Sun and Moon era trending up or down in the long run? Thoughts? Up. Want to know my favorite one? I'll give you my 2 favorite. So my 2 favorite rainbow cards from Sun and Moon era, Lost Thunder, easily. Mimikyu, rainbow rare card. Mimikyu, rookie card. Listen, I got a soft spot in my heart for Mimikyu. When you talk about, liking everybody's like Gen 1, originally 151. Mimikyu's not till Gen 8. So the fact that Mimikyu is one of my favorite Pokemon was the first card for Mimikyu was ever released in Lost Origin. They gave him a Rainbow Rare. There's a lot of great Mimikyu cards. That's one of them that I really like. And then sadly the prices for have gone up, but again it has Mimikyu in it. But the team up, the Gengar Mimikyu, the Rainbow Rare. When you look at like all the Gengar and Mimikyus that exist in team up, like the full arts get a lot of the love, and even the Rainbow Rare still I don't want to say still, it doesn't really get passed up anymore, but a lot of people are noticing it more, I should say. But yeah, I like a lot of Rainbow Rare cards from Sun and Moon era. Like, those are my two favorites, and, well, Lost Thunder in general is just one of the most absolutely hands down underrated sets in Pokemon. Forget just the Sun and Moon timeline. I'm going to go on a limb and say just all of Pokemon, Lost Thunder just really gets shafted for reasons that I don't think are really fair. But yeah, I'm bullish on Rainbow Rare cards. Now, thoughts on Sword and Shield Rainbow Rare cards? Populations for a lot of those cards explode. I'm not bullish on Sword and Shield Rainbow Rare cards. Sun and Moon, though, because you got to keep in mind at the time when Sun and Moon Rainbow Rare cards existed, you actually were still happy when you pulled it. The problem is when Sword and Shield rolled around, it just Rainbow Rare cards, they had their day, and their day passed by the time Sword and Shield existed. But going back to Sun and Moon, like a lot of Sun and Moon Rainbow Rare cards, a lot of opportunities there too. So, Mason Berry said, "Oh crap! I was live at the same time as PK. That's a sin. That's all right, Mason. I hadn't been live in what seemed like forever, but I jumped down to the chat." And I somehow highlighted everything. I think I went to pin a message. What the hell? I'm just going to scroll up in the chat. I'm going to go to some arbitrary point, and I'm just going to start reading stuff. So, right here looks good. Let's see. Son of a Merc says, so Namp90, good to see you, Namp. I hope you guys are following Namp90 on Instagram. But Son of a Merc says, why would they not take the allotted amount of time, count the orders, then print the number of cards rather than have a set number of cards and not realize the amount of orders they get? So I think what Son of Merc is saying is, why didn't they just make the Pikachu and a gray felt hat promo just more or less print to demand? And that would have made sense. But they didn't seem to do that. I don't know if it was because it was originally just supposed to be through the museum, or it was originally just supposed to be through Pokemon Center with just the items, so they only literally ordered. This is a problem with speculations and he said, she said stuff. Like, I heard so many people, and in fact, not only have I heard a lot of people recite the same line, I've heard people as big who have as big as a following as Twice Baked Jake. Like Twice Baked Jake channel, but Twice Baked Jake went out on one of his lives right after the Pikachu and Gray Felt Hat promo, and he talked about his source, which I don't know what his sources are, but saying that they had a pallet of these cards. And I was like, I know what a pallet of cards look like. I've seen, shout out to Mr. Joe Echo-Based Collectibles. We got to get Joe Echo-Based Collectibles back on this channel for a live one of these days. But Joe talks about when he was at the Fan Appreciation Tournament in, I think it was June, July, or August 2002. He got a big brick of like the different promos. So like all the different original WotC promos. You got the WotC promo 1 through number 53. I don't think he got all of them, but he got most of them. And like just within a brick, like a brick of promos is like 100+ cards. And especially probably a brick that goes out in a lot of people's mind is, have you ever seen like a brick of the Black Star promo number 27, the Bumblebee Pikachu? Those Bumblebee Pikachus came in bricks of 100. So you could fit a lot of cards in not a lot of space. So to say that there is a palette of Pikachu and Gray Felt Hat promos, which I don't really want to like say that that is exactly what Twice Baked Jake said, because I might be taking his words out of content, but I'm pretty sure he used the word palette, but I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, like, this will be my official apology to Jake, but I think he said a palette of those cards. And when I heard that number, I was like, a palette of cards is like in the hundreds of thousands of cards. And I'm like, I don't know who his source is, but I wouldn't believe that source. Like, that is dangerous territory. But then again, it also makes sense. It's like, how much printer allocation does it take Pokemon to create a palette of cards? Not much. Like, I mean, that would be half a day for Pokemon, maybe less. I mean, Pokemon prints maybe less, but maybe like a quarter of a day to print that many cards. So if you're going to print a pallet, like, yeah, maybe you could print a pallet. Maybe you could print 200,000, 300,000 of these cards. Like, is that possible? Sure. I mean, look at a Japanese promo like Scarlet and Violet 001 promo. Easily hundreds of thousands of those cards. Or look at like a card that I think they said they printed 1 million of them. The Illustrator Charizard promo, like the Japanese promo that they got, the Illustrator Charizard. I think they said they printed 1 million of those cards. I think those were like confirmed numbers, and we don't usually get confirmed numbers. Again, this could be wrong because this is me saying something that I heard from somebody a long time ago. Information could definitely get lost along the way, but I'm pretty sure they said that Illustrated Charizard was printed 1 million copies of those. So then for Jake to say, well, there's a pallet of these Pikachu and Great Felt Hat promo, like, is that out of the realm of possible? No. Absolutely not when you start to compare it to other promos that were released in the past. Let's see. Poster Professor Oak. He says, my plays are better than any of PK's. That's a good, man. Sometimes you just end up playing with yourself, though, you know? And then everybody's a winner. Leaf Green Goblin said, CGC these nuts. Yes, sir. Pokemon Dentist says, I think I got to the point in the chat where I went on my CGC rant, and Pokemon Dentist says, tell me how you really feel. Tell me why you mad. Ben Lowry said, picked up some Crown Zenith premium collection boxes here in Australia. Ben, did I know you were in Australia? I think this is did I never know that? Oh. He said he picked up some premium collection boxes here in Australia today. EB game price match from $120 down to $39, and you're talking Australian buckaroos, so I don't know what the exchange rate of that is. Took her 15 minutes on the phone to make sure she could do it. But hey, man, if you're able to finagle down for 120 Australian dollaroos all the way down to 39 Australian dollaroos, man, you did very good. Fresh Tats, I must be at the CGC party, said, but Chumlee is their boy, yeah. Yeah, there's no bias there with him and Chumlee and all that. Fucking CGC, what a garbage company. Let's see. Yeah. Fresh Tat says, CGC to the right of PK's head. They display nicely. They do display nicely. As I've displayed all my 8.5s for everybody's viewing pleasure. So Roy said Ash's Pikachu is the strongest we've seen out of the species for sure. Oh yeah, Ash's Pikachu is he's a bad man. Let's see. Yeah, so I got back to the point where we're talking about the rainbow rares. Space Frogs had very few rainbows are sought after. I think that is a sad reality for a lot of rainbow rares. And, you know, especially when you look at, like, full art trainer cards, too. Like, you would think and know. You can make... I'm going to... See, this is what sometimes I'm about to say stupid stuff, so I stop myself so I don't say stupid stuff. But you can make the argument that rainbow rares should be more expensive than full art trainer cards, because when you look at pull rates and how hard it is to pull that card, it is technically harder to pull the rainbow rare of full art trainer cards than it is to just pull the regular normal full art. But more times than not, if damn near 100%, maybe it's not, nothing's in this hobby is 100%, but there's a lot of times, most of the time, where the full art trainer sells for greater than that rainbow rare trainer just because they are not as visually appealing. So even though, while in reality that rainbow rare is, yes, harder to pull, the full art trainer sells for more. It's just, a lot of that just comes down to just pure preference of the collector. Whoever is buying that card, is they just like the way the full art looks. And, you know, to be honest with you, I agree. And my argument, and the thing that I don't love about rainbow rare cards, is from a distance, they don't look good. They display poorly from a distance, and I could get on that. Like, I could be in 100% agreement. Son of a Merc says, PK talking about bricks and playing with yourself, not safe for work. This channel is never safe for work. Let's see. E4 Relk says, I PM'd you on Instagram, PK, whenever you are free. E4 Relks, I will look at Instagram right now because I don't remember you sending me anything. When did you message me, man? I'm pulling... E4 Relks, you're gonna... Whatever you sent me on Instagram, you're gonna have to bump it up because I do not see the message. But we made it for an hour. Got the rants out, you know, had to shake off the cobwebs, but I'm back. Tomorrow, another rant coming. Tomorrow, I got a lot more stuff I got to get off my chest. Haha, it's in the requests. Requests. Is your name Adam? I don't want to, like, blow up your personal spot, but is that you? I don't know. Either way, guys, as always, appreciate every single one of you guys. I don't ask for anything. That's not true. I do ask for some things. And the one thing I ask for above all the others is, listen, if you've made it to the end of this video or if you're watching this, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to this channel, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. If you don't want to hit the subscribe button, fine. So be it. I'll cry myself to sleep, but it will be okay. Another shout out, Mr. Jim from Z and Jim Emporium. Pick up your phone tomorrow. Please give me a call. Again, for the last time, 867-5309. Jenny's going to pick up. Ask her if you can speak to PK. James, I want to talk to you tomorrow. That will be a live that I'm going to do tomorrow. I need your okay. But as always, guys, appreciate every single one of you. And I'll catch you on the next video. As always, before I go, special shout out to #1 mod in the game. Drew, appreciate you. Always see you out there. And special shout out to Kevin Clare, too. Good to see you in the chat, too, man. Anyways, guys, now I'm really gone. Talk to you later.